estas? Krem vase azantes. Welcome, video lovers. Welcome to Tac Nerd 1.0. Adventurers, it's pretty cold out here at the bench today. Winter is finally upon us.
This is hard for you, but winter is coming.
This video today is a reaction video. This is a reaction to one of my friends, Blind Sniper. He had a short recently talking about the average Joe guns, and he picked out a couple. I wanted to maybe kind of echo and expand on that a little bit. I'm going to make this a regular video. I'd love it if we could get a few others to voice in their opinions and collaborate on that. I think it's an interesting topic, and it's not just your average 5-gun video or few gun video or cheap gun video, anything like that. It's talking about what the average Joe has, what the average person may have is in his collection based on his needs and such like that. So again, I'm going to echo some of what he said, and we're going to start that off with what I have here on the table. And this is a 22, and specifically a 22 rifle. And I think that's where things really start here, because not only is this as important as a training tool, 22 is very important for sustenance purposes. Now, the example I have here is it's actually a very nice firearm. This is a Marlin, and it's a Marlin 62. I've had it on my channel several times. And one of the reasons I chose this one is because for me, this was something of like a pawn shop or thrift shop find for me. And I think that's one of the things that the average Joe is going to be doing. They don't have a lot to spend on firearms, and what they do have, they are looking for something that fills the role and that they get the most out of their cash. So pawn shops and thrift stores are a great example for that. As I said, this is an older firearm. I believe this is from the 60s, and I actually did a renovation on this. So it looks quite good now. It didn't look as good as that when I got it, but this is a very accurate firearm. It's tubular fed, very reliable. I would say though, the other part that the average Joe is going to look for when he's looking for firearms though, is he's going to look in more of your average retail, your big box sporting goods stores. So for that, I would say he's probably going to be looking at something like the Rossi 22 rifle. Now that one is semi-automatic. It's available almost everywhere. I think Dunham's always has them on sale, and they're probably around, I would say maybe 150 Quatlus, probably less than that actually. In fact, if pre-Koof levels, you were looking at maybe
100 Quatlus
for something like that, and hopefully prices will get back to that. We'll see how that all goes. But anyways, 22 rifle, that's first thing on average Joe's plate. So next up we have for average Joe is a shotgun. And again, I'm just using this one as an example. This is another pawn shop or thrift store find of my own. And this is an old turkey gun. This is a 20 gauge. And again, I've had this on my channel before, and it's something that I've restored. So this is probably not the exact thing that average Joe would probably be grabbing, but it certainly could fill that role. It is rather long. I think if that's not something that they're looking for, again, you could go for the big box stores, the sporting goods stores. And you certainly could get something like a pump shotgun, which would probably be ideal for that role. And I'm sure you could get one for, something like maximum probably 300 Quatlus. And you would look at either a 12 or 20 gauge, and I'm going to say probably 12. This is a 20 gauge, but you would probably for an item for the average Joe, he's going to be looking for something that is ideal for home protection, getting rid of critters, and for sustenance, for hunting. And a pump shotgun would be ideal for that. Something with a little bit longer barrel, A lot of the tactical ones now are going to have probably 18 inches. I don't know. You might want to get something a little longer than that. But I will tell you, if you look at some places like Walmart and such like that, they have some that, now granted, they may be Turkish made or something like that, but they do have some that sometimes come with 2 barrels. I would also suggest something like a Maverick 88, which would be great. That would definitely fill that role. But if you could get it that's maybe 24 inches, at least 20, that would be probably perfect. So yeah, so that next roll is definitely the shotgun. Here we go. So next on what I think Average Joe is looking for his collection is a pistol. And I'm going to go probably for like a mid-sized Glock 19 style pistol, at least that size. It's big enough that it's going to carry enough rounds to be useful for him. Also something that he can conceal if he wants to do that, if he, or she, I should be saying. And I think Glock 19 size is going to be perfect for that. Now, you don't necessarily have to find a Glock, and this is not a Glock, believe it or not. This is an SCT that I have had on my channel many times. Now, I have customized this quite a bit, and that's something that I think we want to look at for Average Joe. He can get himself into a fairly low-priced, either a Glock clone, Glock alternative, or used Glock, and he can kind of work on it and update it from there. The big part, though, for Average Joe with getting something like a Glock 19 is that it's very easy for him to fix. Glocks are very easy to work on. They tend to be fairly robust. So and the parts are ubiquitous. They are everywhere. You really can't, you can't fall over a log without finding Glock parts. So it's really easy to fix them if something goes wrong. And again, I would suggest, something like this, non-specialized, if you get something like a PSA Dagger, an SCT. I think Anderson even makes a Glock clone that's based on the SCT frame. You can get something like that, again, for, 250 to 300 Quatlus, and, maybe if you're at a pawn or thrift store, maybe even less. Another thing I want to point out that the Average Joe should be looking at is trade-ins, police trade-ins. This is a gold mine that really can turn out to be great. And again, these are generally going to be Glocks. I see also a lot of Smith & Wessons. And the Smith & Wesson M&P series is also great for this. Not as many parts out there available for them, but pretty good. So that's something that the Average Joe could be looking for too. That would be a great find for him. Definitely look at police trade-ins. That's a great market for that sort of thing. Okay, all right, last and next up. Okay, lastly, for Average Joe, for his collection, his arsenal, might take a bit of a hit on that. I don't know what people are going to think about this, but I would actually think Average Joe should be looking at a decent quality 22 pellet rifle. Kind of a lot for the same reasons you would pick the 22 rifle, but at the same time, something like this is even cheaper. And so as something like the pawn shop or a thrift store, something like this is even more available. A decent pellet rifle. And you can find, and again, you can also find these at big box stores or online, Amazon, anything like this. Now this, I've talked about this one several times on my channel. This is the B3 22 pellet rifle. These have been around for ages. This is not a break barrel design. It is a piston. It's a lever piston design. These are very robust. They work well. You can shoot the heck out of them, and really doesn't cost you a whole heck of a lot. You can get a tin of 22 pellets for, like something like 500 of them for 7 Quatlus. It's just an amazing deal. And again, you can use these for a lot of the same type of game that you can use for a 22 rifle. So, squirrels, rabbits, such like that. And you can do the same sort of training. with these as with the 22 rifle. Not, certainly not as fast as a semi-automatic or anything like that, but for what you get from the price, you can really do well. Now, these have gone up in price over the years, and you're going to find that a decent quality, at least 800 to 1,000 feet per second pellet rifle is going to cost you almost as much as that 22 rifle that you're going to look at in the store. But the ammo cost is even cheaper. So again, something to think about there. As I said, folks, these are 4 items that I think average Joe or average Jane could have in their arsenal and would fulfill pretty much 95 to 99% of anything that they're going to be looking for. Any threat or any need that they're going to have, those firearms, those implements would fill all of those roles. And I think you could do that on a pretty small budget. All right, folks, I hope you enjoyed that. What I would like, again, this is a response to Blind Sniper's post. I really, really liked his question. What I'd really like to see is I'd like to see some of you post some of your ideas and suggestions down there. And also, let's have some video responses. Ages ago, when YouTube was young, they had this system set up for video responses. It was a great idea, and it built communities, and it brought people together. And of course, because of that, they got rid of it.
Yes, very sad. Anyway.
So they had to do away with it. But we can still post video responses. You just have to write them on there. So let's see some. Let's see all of you make a video response. I want to see your ideas as well. All right, so folks, on your way out, if you would, please like, share, and subscribe. And as always, don't forget to fire off a shot at that bell notification. And if you feel that this video has helped you out or given you some entertainment, consider giving us a super thanks. That would be great. And even better, think about a membership. We would love to see that. And we're going to be putting out exclusive videos for all members. Folks, that is all I have for you today. This is Tac Nerd, and I am out of here.